Hi, my name is Stephanie Postma, and this is my cultural experience presentation. I went to the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C., and this is my experience of the Native American culture from that visit. When you first walk into the museum, you are immediately inundated with what makes and shapes the Native American culture and identity. There are flags all throughout the lobbies representing each American tribe, as well as artifacts that show the culture and really the identity, the major focal points of the identity of what it means to be a Native American. What you will see in these artifacts displayed is the community of Native American tribes, the emphasis of protecting their tribal rights to lands and the use of their language, their clothing style from both men, women, and children. You'll also see how the societal roles being played out, to also artifacts that dealt with the societal changes that came with the encounters with the settlers in the early 1400s, as well as the governments of the United States. All of these artifacts speak to the culture of Native Americans, but it also shows the uniqueness of each tribe. What we will see throughout the tour of the museum is that the Native American culture is vast and diverse, but there's also some commonalities between the tribal groups. One of the biggest key points is represented by Dr. Angela Gonzalez of the Hopi tribe. She's quoted by saying, "Being an Indian is not about being part of something. It is about being part of something." This is evident in the display of their culture, as well as their own self-identity through their tribal practices and beliefs. This is also on display at the museum. As I went on my tour, I started at the Our Universe exhibit on the fourth floor. In the Our Universe exhibit, you will find the stories of the native tribes all across Latin America and North America. The stories focus on the creation of the tribes and major beliefs, but the exhibit is also an example of the preservation of the culture of each tribe. The one tribe that stood out to me the most was the Anishinaabe. The Anishinaabe are located in the Great Lakes region and in central Canada. They're also known by another name, which is the First People. The biggest aspect that stood out to me about their culture was actually the roles dictated in society between the genders. It's actually very similar to the roles that we tend to carry in American culture. First is the men roles. In the Anishinaabe tribe, the men are responsible for passing on their knowledge of hunting, fishing, and combat, as well as lodge building. Their number one job is to raise their son and remind them of their responsibilities as husbands and fathers. The young boys in the Anishinaabe tribes are really trained in the traditions of the tribe. One of their biggest goals is to figure out their own special path in this world. The women's role is basically the carriers of life. What they do is they pass down the traditions, as well as how to care for others by preserving food, cooking, tanning the animal skins, and they'll train the young girls in this method as well. What I also found interesting was the idea of stories. The quote by Emil Her Many Horses says it best. The native spiritual values live in stories. Passed verbally from generation to generation, the stories preserve native culture, languages, and the ways of explaining the universe. One of the stories from the Anishinaabe tribe is the story of the little boy and the seven teachings. The story is based off of the Anishinaabe tribe and their relationship with the creator. The creator was responsible for giving the Anishinaabe food, clothing, and shelter, as well as medicine. However, as the Anishinaabe stopped listening and using the gifts they received from their creator, we had a lot of turmoil within the tribe, mainly because the Anishinaabe had lost their creator's ways in teachings. The little boy went on this journey to preserve and improve his people's way of life. In order to do that, he learned the 7 teachings. The 7 teachings are the key human traits that each Anishinaabe is to carry out in everyday life. There are traits like honesty, wisdom, courage, respect, love, humility. All of these traits are what makes a good human being, and the Anishinaabe carry out this as a daily practice. This connection to not only nature, but morality is extremely important in understanding the Anishinaabe tribe as well as all of the other native tribes. Most Native American tribes do have this connection to both nature, morality, and societal beliefs. By going on this visit to the National Museum of the American Indian, it really has opened my eyes. It's opened my eyes to the connection to the land that each tribe has. This connection is extremely important into informing their identity, as depending on where you are in either Latin America or North America, you will see that their environment has an impact on their lives. Not only is it an environmental impact, but it's also the moral and social identity. It's tied to their land, right? It's very influential to their major beliefs, and what you'll see is that most Native Americans value that connection to their land and will fight for it, and will fight for their political beliefs as well. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my presentation about the National Museum of the American Indian, and I hope you guys all get a chance to visit it one day. It's really cool. Have a great evening.